Now they roam the streets waiting to attack you. All they know is violence, violence. We got to stop all this violence. Don't care who is right or wrong. Don't care who is weak or strong. Violence, violence. We got to stop all this violence. Whoa, whoa, this violence must come to an end. Hey, bam, bam, yo. When you check out the kids in this year's society, oh yeah, they seem to have no purpose nor direction. When you check out the kids in this year's society, oh yeah, they seem to have no purpose nor direction. They don't have respect for the elderly, oh yeah, not even for their mommy nor their daddy. Gone are the days when they used to respect you, oh yeah. Now they walk right by, don't even want to greet you. All they know is violence, violence. We got to stop all this violence. Don't care who is right or wrong. Don't care who is weak or strong. Violence, violence. We got to stop all this violence. Whoa, whoa, this violence must come to an end. Hey, bam, bam, yo. Hey, bam, bam, yo. We must try to get back to the good old days, oh, yeah, when grannies and teen neighbors used to see about we. We must try to get back to the good old days, oh, yeah, when grannies and teen neighbors used to see about we. Now is the time to stop this calamity, oh, yeah. The time has come to solve this situation. We don't need no more of this destruction, oh yeah. What we need is peace, love and togetherness. No more of this violence, violence. We got to stop all this violence. What we need is togetherness. I said togetherness. Violence, violence. We got to stop all this violence. Whoa, whoa, this violence must come to an end. Whoa, whoa, this violence must come to an end. Whoa, whoa, this violence must come to an end. Bam, bam, yo. When you check out the kids in this year's society, oh yeah, they seem to have no purpose nor direction. When you check out the kids in this year's society, oh yeah, they seem to have no purpose nor direction. They don't have respect for the elderly, oh yeah, not even for their mommy nor their daddy. Gone are the days when they used to respect you, oh yeah. Now they walk right by, don't even want to greet you. All they know is violence, violence. We got to stop all this violence. Don't care who is right or wrong. Don't care who is weak or strong. Violence, violence. We got to stop all this violence. Whoa, whoa, this violence must come to an end. Hey, bam, bam, yo. Hey, bam, bam, yo. We must try to get back to the good old days, oh yeah, when grannies and teen neighbors used to see about we. We must try to get back to the good old days, oh yeah, when grannies and teen neighbors used to see about we. Now is the time to stop this calamity, oh yeah. The time has come to solve this situation. We don't need no more of this destruction, oh yeah. What we need is peace, love and togetherness. No more of this violence, violence. We got to stop all this violence. What we need is togetherness. I said togetherness. everywhere you look, it's action. Oh, yeah. What we need is peace, love, and togetherness. No more of this violence. We got to stop all this violence. What we need is togetherness. I said togetherness. Violence. We got to stop all this violence. Whoa, this violence must come to an end. 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 On the streets, in the schools, in the subways, on the playgrounds, everywhere you go, everywhere you look, it's violence. It's time that we stop all this violence and have peace and love in our hearts for each other.
Caribbean American News Media, your Tuesday night power hour. Live every Tuesday at 8:15 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and GVV TV channel 115. Join your host, Garfield Oliver, as he dives deep into the latest inclusion developments, regional affairs, and global issues that matter to you. From politics to the economy, community stories to international headlines. We cover it all with real talk and real insights. Stay informed, get the facts, be part of the conversation. Don't miss out. Set your reminders, share with your friends, and tune in. Caribbean American News Media, the news you report.
At the SLP's Conference of Delegates in Vieux-Fort, Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre made a desperate attempt to rewrite history.
You will remember that the United Workers' Party only gave COVID support to NIC contributors.
This claim is absolutely false. The truth? In July 2020, under the UWP administration, 5,000 St. Lucians who were non-contributors of NIC received $500 per month for 3 months to help them survive the pandemic. Prime Minister Pierre knows the facts, yet he chose to lie to the nation. Why? To mislead and divide. St. Lucia deserves a leader who values integrity, one who speaks the truth, not one who tries to twist it. Pierre, pardon. We need real leadership, not deception.
I also have something to say. I won't say it now about the crime in St. Lucia. I'll say it at some point, and you all may have to deal with me.
That's a really good question. Whenever I like the basis, how we intend to address it.
I know all that pretense about crime and who's pushing crime. I know what's happening behind the scene. What's happening behind the scene? I know.
That's a very good question. Whenever
I also have something to say. I won't say it now about the crime in St. Lucia. I'll say it at some point, and you all may have to deal with me because I know what's happening behind the scenes. I know. I know all that pretense about crime and who's pushing crime. I know what's happening behind the scene.
Because some talk show
hosts, what's happening behind the scene. I know.
If I make a joke with you understand?
I also have something to say. I won't say it now about the crime in St. Lucia. I'll say it at some point, and you all may have to deal with me because I know what's happening behind the scenes. I know. I know all that pretense about crime and who's pushing crime. I know what's happening behind the scene.
Just a minute.
What's happening behind the scene? I know.
Take his microphone. Usher him out.
I also have something to say.
Why them Lucians so make them this? Sui pui, some 2.5% HCSL thing is a tax vibe. So what that have to do with people getting meg? But just now, to me them people paying VAT already. Exactly. The tax is calculated on the cost of goods. So one time, the price go increase, Kuma. The Lucians end up paying more than 15%. Mama! Gasa, just imagine $100 go buy less groceries. People getting poor Things like rent and utility bills will also increase gas.
Real Malawi vibe.
All them things the people doing to stay healthy, like gym, healthy eating, and safety and security, could be harder to get because people ain't have money.
Partner, if them people ain't have enough money, they ain't go have leftover food for us to eat. The bins go be empty. Wow!
Things real happening to them, Lucianzi. Look out for us again soon. We go show you all more. Malwat.
Well, a pleasant good evening to all our viewers on Caribbean American News Media Platform. I am your host, Garfield Oliver. This is the News Report, Caribbean American News Media Platform. And folks, I am happy to be here with you on another Tuesday night. It is the 19th, I believe, of August 2025. If you're here with me, it means that you're alive. And like we always do, friends, we always declare great is his faithfulness unto us. Morning by morning, new mercies we see. A pleasant good evening to all our viewers on various platforms, whether you're onto YouTube or you're over there on our Facebook channel, or you're viewing us via GVD TV channel 115, that is Flow 115. We want to thank you so much for your continual support to this platform. Again, blessings to all of you on the live. Please share and tag a friend. Share and tag a friend. I just saw my sister, Sister Lauren Hippolyte. You know, we know that she lost her husband some time ago. Very strong supporter of the United Workers' Party. Whether it's through different contributions and support, they have done a lot. And so I want to thank her for being here with me tonight. She started the journey with me when we had some difficulties. She was there all the way, encouraging words of support and prayer. Thank you so much, Hippolyte, for being here with me. I see that you're getting back on your feet again. You're out tonight, and I'm happy to see you and to acknowledge you publicly and let you know that I love you and that you are not alone. You know, you are a very beautiful soul. God bless you. And to by Dudu, Lawrence, Pierre, the Francis, all the Francis who are here, my family, welcome to the platform, and to Stanislas over there, my friend Stanislas over there in Soufrière, and all our Soufrierians. I consider you guys brave, strong, determined, and thank you so much for being here on this Caribbean American News platform. Thank you so much, friends. Now in studio here, it's very cold, and I'm hoping I can reduce that coldness. For some reason, I just like the cold. You know, I find myself just sleeping in the cold, getting up in the cold, doing everything in the cold, cooking in the cold. It is something when you travel and you spend time in these countries, your body, and as you get older, friends, a whole cold barbon, you know. And some of you go through menopause, you know what I'm talking about. You have a heat storm in the middle of winter, but that's part of the aging and everything else. We go through our graceful aging, you know, with understanding. I know some of you get frustrated, but thank you so much, folks, for your time here with us. I see my friend Mr. Bermuda. Greetings, long time I have not heard you. Greetings to you, Rosalind, Heather, Antoine. Folks, I can't call all the names. Rosemary, Sabina, greetings. And over there on YouTube, we have all our friends over there from different countries logging in. Greetings again. Share the live, tag a friend. I can't call all the names. And to my friend over there, Mr. Sotter in Denry. Thank you so much for being part. I know that you're not well, but God's grace is sufficient for you, my friend. And may you receive healing, restoration, and may the joy of the Lord be your strength as you sit with us on tonight. Martin Alfred, greetings to you, my friend. Flabo, yes, greetings. Flabo Mary, greetings. I want to extend a special birthday greetings to one of our viewers. We got to get back into birthday greetings and anniversary greetings on this Caribbean American News platform, and that is special birthday greetings goes out to Sarah Joseph. Sarah Joseph. I always mispronounce this name. Sarah Joseph. Happy birthday to you. May God continue to bless you with health and long life. All right, so happy birthday to you, my friend. Here's wishing you a beautiful, beautiful birthday. I see my friend Lydia Francis. Mohadi's Pajex Francis la. You had it done. Ma call Martin. Me what's up? They let Martin like my way, me. What can I say? Wise me. All right, so greetings. So let's get to work. We have a lot to do on the show tonight, and as you know, you don't know where the show is going to go. You don't know where the show is going to go, and so we're going to let it go where it may. Now, there's a whole lot of stuff in the news that is concerning, not depressing to me, because I can keep my mental health together by the grace of God, but there are many who just can't, deal with the stress that is before them. Now, I have a lot of stress. I have my own stress. I am loaded. Sometimes I sit here, but there's a heavy weight, on my shoulder. And thank you so much. Some of you don't know that you are the ones who helped me to get through our situation. You're the ones who, when I look at you and your beautiful comments, I am very encouraged that we have an army of good United Workers' Party strong supporters. Now, in honor of you guys, the United Workers' Party, and all our good supporters, not the bad supporters, the good supporters, because you have, somebody said it. Are you hearing me? Yes, we're on. The song is on. Is it too low? Now, we have good and bad, but I'm talking to Rachel, greetings to you, my friend, and Lisa Dudu and Lawrence, greetings. The song is on. Are you hearing? Is it okay? Let me know. Let's do a sound check over there. Are you hearing me clearly? Is there anything else coming through? Let me see. Let me ensure that I shut everything else off so nothing else will come through. So everything on my end is clean. There is no interference as far as all my monitors are saying, all right? And our cyber detective. Okay, so I kind of lost track. Yeah, so I did something, something very, not silly. Now, I meant to paint the house a very long time ago. And I keep procrastinating, and so I decided to, Christiana James, greetings. I decided, and my friend Raquel, greetings to you over there and the family, you and your husband. I continue to pray for you. I will need to get your number. I'm not sure how I lost that number, but I'll try to figure it out so that I can give you a special high greetings over there. So I decided, look, I'm going to get myself into gear with the color code, of course, code yellow, and I painted the house. Folks, I did it. I painted the living room in yellow. Yes, I did. I painted the living room in yellow. Now, if my stepfather was alive and he visited me here, he would be all excited. I always remember him, he would be all excited. Oh my God, he would be an excited man to see, to see me and to see me painting the house. He was there with us before he died. He spent some time up here, and then he went down. But anyway, let's not go down into those depressing type thing. You start remembering your relatives. But I'm serious about the code, and I'm so serious that I went to Home Depot. I got the paint. Hey, Saga Fet Thomas Moses, partner moi. Partner. Saga Fet. Where? Good. That's my friend and my buddy there, Thomas Moses. Jordanry. So yes, man, Code Yellow. If you are not serious, that's your all business. But I serious to the point where Lebo Leve say yellow, Lebo Dobby say yellow, Lebo G say yellow, tout à la vez say yellow all around. Lebo Otwe Kaila, so say Jolé, but ben Quiscapon, Saka Veglo.
That's a very good question. But what I like the best is how
I know that Vegleo, it's Vegle in you. Yeah, man. Anyway, let's move forward with the code here on the platform. So let's get to some serious business, folks. Now there's a lot that unfolded last weekend and on Monday and today in the House, in front of the House. It's just a lot, and I'm hoping that we can get the time. I'm hoping that I can speak quickly. I can move with cyber speed in order to just get quickly into the discussion tonight. So first of all, I spend my entire day in church. I don't come home. We eat there. We have stove. We have fridge. We have food. We have everything there. So I don't really have to go anywhere in a hurry. So sometimes in the afternoon, I stay back after sunset. We make bakes and we do little stuff. We hang out. We eat, laugh, play games down there on Church Avenue before we go home. We spend a lot of time at the church because we are family. And so the church is like, it's a small church of family, you know, we family oriented. And so we spend a lot of time together on Church Avenue. Sometimes we have a guy outside who would roast breadfruit and we would get out roast breadfruit. I used to eat jerk chicken from there, but I don't eat too much jerk chicken now. The smoke and everything else, I'm getting older, so I got to cool out on those things, and they're not too healthy for our bodies, you know, I'm just saying. So we spend a lot of time. I do a lot of cooking at the church. I love the kitchen, of course. I spend a lot of time. I like to play with food and to prep and everything, and sit down and look at people enjoy a good island food, I call it. But outside of food, most of you know I'm a foodie, and anytime I go to a country, it's all about the food. It's all about food. You can keep the beach, but give me the food. That's just it. Now, Munkai, budon go, guys, last month. You know, I went to St. Lucia 2 years ago. Was it 2 years, 3 years ago? And I ate there, and by the time I got back to New York, my shirts were not fitting me. Whole comme pâté bon. Manger comment, because I would eat from Viewfort. I go to Deriso, drive up into Deriso, and there's a shop by the side selling burgers, chicken burgers, and I would stop to try this. They're not just trying to, you know, sample foods and give people a sale, of course, at the same time. So I would stop in Denry again on the hill, looking over the sea, and I would enjoy a meal there by our Denry folks on the hill. You know, and just enjoy, you know, because you stay away for so long sometimes, and I need to stop staying away so long and try to spend more time on the island, of course. And so I go around, I sample foods and sample everything else. Then we do whole come about the bon le fini. Whole come when we do, whole come when we take. And half of my shirts, up to this day, my clothes, I look like a pregnant dolphin as far as I'm concerned. Like, nous quand pour travailler les bagages ça, si on pour assis ici avec faire programme là, on pour manger boudin, because when you're in good health, you can do a lot of things. Le body a pas bon, then whole corps pas bon. Check this. So I'm just gossiping publicly about myself. You know, you gossip about people, that's not good. Gossip about yourself. There's so much that we can talk about ourselves that will help us to fix ourselves. Shy bagay. But talking about gossiping about self, I will show you politicians who gossip about themselves and they don't know they're gossiping about themselves. I will show you the hypocrisy of these politicians, and I'll tell you why you're pabo. Those that you have right now, you're pardon. P.S. I will prove to you that they are not good. And if you do not remove that blight from your country, you guys will continue to experience what you're experiencing now, difficulties. I am telling you folks, those of you who are Christians, those of you who have some decency in you still, not all have that decency. There's some who don't care about decency. They have no brought up no manners, no etiquette. Your pani your pani anye. You understand what I'm saying? And lani moun ki ka fe akodi yo se mal kabwit or mal cochon. They are just people. Mannerism yo ka fe akodi yo pamun. And that is true. Now I know what you're going to say. Well, he's a Christian and he calling people mal wicked, mal cochon. Well, yes, that's true. Let's deal with the reality. Mal cochon, ek mal mouton, ek tout bagay sa mo di. It is true. It is true. And I'm not going to sugarcoat mal kabwit ek mal cochon in the society. No, we have to speak about it. We got to help people to get better, to grow, and to have some decency, friends. Most of us have met individuals. You look at them and you got to keep looking to see whether they're people or whether they're something else. Because there comes a time when some of us cease to act like human beings and we begin to act like animals, the other species. And that's not good. We must call it out. So, here is what happened. I got out of church late in the night. And by the way, I have some announcement to make, promotions to make tonight for Ben, of course, from Denry, and for the Tri-State Flubber Caucus. Yeah. But let's go in quickly to the truth. Tonight, I just want to talk to you from my heart. No hypocrisy. And for the hacks who are coming, yeah, what he said, and oh, shut your mouth. Come on, get out of here. Please stop. Let's be real now. Forget about the games and the playing of stuff. I'm done. Let's stop playing games with our society, with our people. Let's just talk openly. Let us just for once be ourselves. Let's just free up, brethren. Free up. So right now, hacks, I'm not worried about you. This is no game. This is no sport. This is serious stuff. I'm talking to you, friends, because there is moral decay and spiritual decadence in the nation. And their people want spiritual leaders to just sugarcoat everything and say to you that all is well. No, all is not well. Leoni moun ka fe gaje, ka moun ka vole bagay moun ka rape moun ka jiwe. Leoni se bagay sa di dan. Society, we need to speak up. You have to speak up. You must never encourage it. Upani pu encourage se beti sa. So swear from the heart we're speaking. I'm going to call some names. We're going to speak from the heart, friends. Okay, so let's go. So I got out of church and I went through my social media in the night because I don't really go through social media during the day to look at what is happening. And so as I go through, I was like, this can't be real. Dead bodies, shooting. And I'm like, oh no, let me make some calls. I begin to call. I call people. I start trying to figure out what in the world is happening here. And then I was told that there was bloodshed in the city of Castries on Saturday. I'm like, on Saturday, bloodshed, man, again. And they said, yes, my friend, innocent people got caught in this bloodshed. I said, wow, man, enough of this bloodshed. This is hard. And I can imagine, families getting the news that their loved one got shot up. I can imagine bystanders got injured. People got blood on them, just shopping, just going to the market. By the way, some of you need to be in church on Saturday, not in the market. A shite is a backslide. Let me tell you something. So when you backslide, you leave God and you leave these kind of things. You like on edge. So you got to be careful. You got to be careful. Huh? Yeah, man. Don't backslide. Don't backslide. You're not perfect. You're going to make mistakes. Stay where you are. Yeah, don't leave your church. Stay where you are and serve your God. Don't let nobody tell you there's no God and everybody do what they want. No. No, it's time for us to be real. So let me not distract myself all by myself, of course, like politicians in the house today. So, people, the country was in shock. And I can imagine people saying, boy, I was about to go into town and be in the same area, and something told me don't go, and the good thing I just didn't feel, and I turned back and I did. And you had the stories and the stories and the stories. Man, when I pull over and I check my vehicle, there's bullets in the vehicle. Man, I look at my shirt, there is blood, and bloody Saturday in the country. Bloody Saturday. So the United Workers' Party had a plan, a massive event planned for the Boulevard this Sunday. And I got notification that the United Workers' Party leadership came together and made a decision that the country is in mourning, the country is bleeding. We are going to postpone the event. And I said to myself, that was quick. It was the right thing to do. And I felt very proud of the United Workers' Party. I am not embarrassed about the United Workers' Party with its defects and shortcomings in the past. This United Workers' Party has a conscience. This United Workers' Party is the party, the party that should be the choice party for St. Lucians, and I am ever committed and grateful for the decision, for the decision that the party leadership made on that fateful, bloody Saturday. Rosemary says, sorry to say, Brother Garfield, I would I'd rather be a backslider than to play hypocrite with God. No. None of those two are good. Those two choices, no good. And by the way, to hypocrite with God, what we consider to be hypocrite with God, it's a misunderstanding of what grace is all about. Some of you believe because somebody made a mistake, or they're weak, or they're fighting certain sin, that they should not be in church and they are not Christian. No, that's not truth. That's not true. That's not true, friends. So we are all defective and we make mistakes. It does not make you a hypocrite. I just wanted to clear that one up. So don't be out there and say, well, I prefer to be a backslider, my friend. You have to answer one of these days to the great God above. Yes, judgment we must face and we must give an account. So don't let anyone make you feel that you're unworthy, you're the worst sinner, and there is no grace for you. But for the politicians, I have a word on that whole grace thing for some of you politicians, all right, with your empty church services. We'll talk about that. So, bloodshed in the land. And so I thought that the St. Lucian Labour Party, of course, would cancel the event on Sunday. I thought they would have done it, to tell you the truth. And I thought that the focus would have been on strategizing, coming together to deal with this crime problem in the land. I thought that they would ease that pressure off of the police, and the country would have been in the spirit of support to families who are mourning the loss of a loved one, of families who have their loved ones at the hospital shut up. Families who are going through, traumatic experience, and mentally they're not there, they're broken, they're afraid. I thought the country would have come together and they would have cancelled that event like the United Workers' Party did. And I'll tell you something I observe with the St. Lucia Labour Party. The St. Lucia Labour Party, friends, there's a pattern with them. When there are great disasters in the land, they always make the wrong decision. All the time. It was wrong to instigate the riot with the banana strike. That was wrong decision. And there are other wrong decisions, that this Labour Party in time past have made. But I'm not going to get into all. The other major one was COVID-19. They choose bacchanal and politicking over assisting with the great disaster that was before the country, that was killing millions of people around the world. The St. Lucia Labour Party chose to protest. The St. Lucia Labour Party chose to be in the streets, jumping up and all on the beaches, running all over the place. They made that same decision that they made on Sunday during COVID-19. They do not care as far as I'm concerned. And you know what they did? They went whining and jumping like nothing had happened in the country. During COVID, it was the very same thing. We were burying our loved ones, but they were already, and by the way, they too were burying their loved ones, but they were all in forget your worries and dance to the music. And for that decision not to cancel that event or postpone the event on Sunday, I strongly believe that the people of St. Lucia need to remove this government off of the backs of the people. And as a spiritual leader, I say to you, you got to do it. If you want to save the soul of your country, you got to do it. You must do it, friends. And you must do it with a passion, with understanding, with wisdom. You must do it to save Fair Helen. Fair Helen is bleeding. And like Mr. Alan Shastner said, I think it's during COVID, in time of crisis, leadership matters. And somebody said it was an anti-violence rally. I've never seen anti-violence rally with whining and casting remarks with the opposition and not much about the nastiness in the country. Anti-violence, and this is how they mess with your head. That's how they mess with your heads, folks. Here they go. We turn it into an anti-violence rally. Come, everybody, come. We're going to fight against the crime. We're going to speak about it. We're going to be protesting. We will be walking quiet in the streets. No loud music. We'll just be out there just sympathizing with those who have lost their loved ones. That was not the case. It was wine dong dong. And down to the ground. And Santa Claus. And enough time was not spent on attacking the criminals criminal elements in the country. Instead, they were attacking one of their leaders, the Honorable Alan Chastney. Young people disrespecting Mr. Chastney. But let me show you what happened if you don't believe me. Yes, friends, it was just the day before that people were scared for their lives and were traumatized. And the police had to call back all police officers on leave except the commissioner. So my question is, will the commissioner be coming back? I'm just asking because all other police officers were called back except the police commissioner. And I want to understand this. How is it, and I'm subject to correction, of course, how is it that two major activities were approved for the same day? And then the police comes to us and say to us that we could have managed. Yes, we have everything in place to manage, but then we're calling all police officers back because of shooting. Who was going to man St. Lucia? A matter of fact, who was going to protect the evidence at the evidence launch or the evidence room or vault in the police station? Who was going to stay back to protect them when there's two political rallies in the country? Who was going to guard the guard? That's the question. So that's one of the stories there. Now, something happened today to this young woman. Something happened today to this young woman. This woman, folks. She joined the protests that was happening against Government Minister Richard Frederick and his blatant disrespect to women. So this young journalist, and I'm not sure she's affiliated with any media outlet as yet, but she had no camera and anything of her own, and so she has a t-shirt indicating that she's part of the protest on the outside against the government. As far as I'm concerned, Richard Frederick is part of the government, SLP government. So there's an anti-women's against disrespect outside. And so the young lady decided that she's going to see if she can register the voice of the men of Parliament and the women in standing up against Mr. Richard Frederick, of course, and his disrespect to women. Now, it is nothing new, of course, with the disrespect from Mr. Frederick. That's what he knows. That's what he knows. That's just how he operates. That's the level from which he operates. And I'm not sure if he can do better. That's just the truth. I'm not sure if he can do better, or I'm not sure if he's a narcissist or he's suffering from something, but something is definitely wrong with how easy it is for a man to disrespect a woman. How easy it is for a politician, one who is in the SLP administration, in the Prime Minister's office. How easy it is to just flip on a woman. And I am asking again, can he do better? Can he fly higher? Oh, that's the altitude he can fly. He can't go any higher. So, I looked at Mr. Frederick's behavior over a period of time, and I also look at some of the men actually who supports Mr. Frederick. I go way back in times, and I discover something interesting. That some of these brothers who are either cheering this on or who are silent on the matter have themselves been abusers, some of them, of women. And just bear with me in this space. So I looked at different events that would have caused Mr. Frederick to flip. I look at him flipping on men, and I look at him flipping on women, and I look at him flipping on things like somebody calls or texts, and they respond to it, and I realize that everything gets equal wrath, and there is no holy grail for him. The same fire he will put on the animal is the same fire he will put on the phone, the same fire he will put on a man, the same fire on a woman. And so I saw him in a video kicking a tire in rage, in anger. I look at him when he's conducting his program, and you can see the anger and the roar of a lion. And so I went back to the situation with, and let me see if I can pull it up. I think it's Fortuna Del Rose is the name. Just let me pull this up for you.
Fortuna Del Rose, when you grow hair and you tell me you are going to the hairdresser and they put in curls for you, pow we go. No wig. When you grow hair and the ladies are doing your hair, the hairdresser. Guys, you didn't tell me when I talking about Fortuna. Pani lay pousse chivi. Just the lay pousse poeltet. But Xavier, you don't see you are too troublesome. You didn't tell me Fortuna pass a pousse poeltet. Tell Fortuna.
Now, folks, I should have warned you that the language in this video that was extracted from United Pack, I was going to let you know that if you have kids around, that you might want to remove them. But I will warn you going forward, because I believe I have some more that we might want to talk to. If you have a young boy, child, I don't want you to expose your boy child to this. That's the disclosure for tonight. When you are playing these clips, ensure that your children, that you guard the avenues of their soul. You hear what I'm saying? Be careful what your kids hear and what they see. Now, we are living in a time where our politicians have lost their way. And all I am saying to you, friends, is you got to protect the generation from these politicians in the Prime Minister's office. And I will tell you something. Mr. Pear and all these politicians in the House are in 100% in support of Mr. Frederick. Don't fool yourself. The Speaker of the House, every one of them are part of this behavior. Because it keeps happening, and there is no apology, there is no correction, there is nothing, no response from the government of St. Lucia. There is no response from pastors, from the priests. There is no response from the women movement in the country. There is absolutely no response from anyone. This is St. Lucia right now. Now, if I play this for non-St. Lucians, let's say I visit another country and I say, guys, I want you to look at this for me. Or if I bring somebody here in studio, a professional, and I say, can you look at this for me? Or one of my professors, maybe a psychologist, I say, could you come sit with me for a minute? I want you, without saying anything, just observe this. And look at what is going to happen. I want you to observe, all right? So I play this for them. Tell me what you think. Be honest and not biased with your approach.
And they put in curls for you. How we go? No wig. When you grow hair, and the ladies are doing your hair, the hairdresser. Guys, you didn't tell me when I talking about Fortuna. Body lay pousse chivy. Just the lay pousse poeltet.
Now he is talking to another man next to him. Folks, this is what is the new norm in St. Lucia. The world who is watching in St. Lucia, the Helen of the West Indies, a beautiful country. This is the new norm in the government of St. Lucia under the leadership of Philip J. Pear. This is the new normal. Yeah? And I want you to just let it sink in for those of you who are still in La La Land. Or maybe you have lost your own moral authority or moral compass, cuckoo. This is what your government, the SLP government under Philip J. Pear, brought in to the government of St. Lucia. This is the type of behavior that is condoned by him. This is him, folks. This is his minister. I can almost guarantee you tonight, people of St. Lucia, if this was If he was in the Alan Chastney administration doing that on the air, it would not have been tolerated at all. Let that sink in too. Now, why do you think all these attack on Mr. Alan Chastney? Observe. What they're trying to do is to cover their nastiness by shouting the loudest about a whole lot of nothing. Think about this, St. Lucians. I want you to put this behavior, Mr. Alan Chastney's behavior, together and tell me which one of them you would want to expose your children to. Think about it. Think about what I'm saying to you. Now, I'm helping you here to reason tonight, to think for yourself, because there's a blight over some of you that you can't understand. You hear, but you don't hear. And if there are any Christians, by the way, so-called Christians, who are cheering this on, then all hell has broken loose in the land. If any Christian clapping on, saying, good job, yes, yes, Chastney not good, but Richard is good. That is what we have become. Then all hell has broken loose on the island of St. Lucia. I am not, you know, let me play a response from the United Workers' Party Women's Arm, I believe, on this same situation.
United Workers' Party unequivocally condemns the continued reprehensible and misogynistic behavior exhibited by Government Minister Richard Frederick in the office of the Prime Minister. His repeated use of derogatory and demeaning language on his talk show, Can I Help You, with Richard Frederick, is a blatant affront to the dignity of women and an egregious abuse of his platform and power. Minister Frederick targeted former government minister Fortuna Belrose, making derogatory comments about her lack of hair, a deeply personal attribute that should never be subjected to ridicule. Such language is not only offensive, but also reinforces damaging stereotypes and devalues the significant contributions of women in our society. In another deplorable act, Richard Frederick, the minister responsible for vendor affairs, used his show to once again bully and attack a known longtime vendor, Ursula Fannis, also known as Joycelyn Fannis. Rather than addressing her concerns through proper official channels, he chose to humiliate her publicly, divulging sensitive and confidential information about her financial obligations in a most unethical manner. The women's arm of the United Workers' Party supports the principles of decency and the enshrined rights of equality and justice. We stand in solidarity with Mistress Belrose, Miss Fannis, and all the other women who have been subjected to such vile attacks. We demand that Minister Frederick resign from his ministerial post immediately in order to prevent further occurrences of the abusive behavior. His actions cannot be overlooked or dismissed as merely controversial. They are harmful and perpetuate misogyny. As advocates for the rights and empowerment of women, the Women's Arm is resolute in its pursuit of a society where every individual is respected and valued equally. We urge all members of the community and relevant authorities to stand with us in condemning these actions and to work to eradicate this type of abuse from our public office. Thank you.
Now, that was a press release from way back, I think, 2024, when Miss Belle Rose was attacked by this same gentleman. And the Prime Minister would always say, well, I don't know, I didn't hear. Did he say that? I got to check. Over and over and over and over again, he says, I don't know. I will have to check. Yeah? So let's listen to, I believe this was last evening. This clip is from NBC. That is the Can I Help You show with Richard Frederick. So the clip that I'm going to play here was an extract from the Can I Help You show with Richard Frederick, government minister in the office of the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Mr. Philip J. Pear.
You know, you cannot be a journalist. No investigative skill, no tact, no journalistic research, no journalistic prowess or expertise. Lisa Joseph, in my view, is a refined version of Jugba.
Lisa Joseph has done herself a great disservice because she seemed to have had this sense of entitlement. Lisa just should have recognized that she was a political appointee. Mm-hmm. If you are a political appointee and your party fails at the polls, Richard, you should just expect to walk. Mm-hmm. And if they happen to keep you for some reason and you want to stay, whatever,
say praise the Lord.
Say praise the Lord. But you should expect to walk.
But right now, she's showing her true colors, not so?
But it is because they asked her to leave, right? They didn't keep her. So she has now gotten this rage against the government and against the
But then again, it would have shown you how dangerous it would have been to have kept a character like that within your ranks.
Now, I want you to observe the two characters that are talking about Lisa as a character and having some, I don't know what you guys call it, again, back in St. Lucia, not Gopwell, of course. Gopwell is when, you know, you lose somebody that you love, I believe. Somebody else grabbed them from you. But he's saying that she has this rage towards the government because maybe her contract was not renewed. And the last time I checked, that this guy, Mr. Frederick, is mad with the United Workers' Party because of some issues that he and them had, and he was asked to walk. Up to this day, he can't recover. But here is he talking about Lisa, who is a professional, of course. Most of you, and I want you to, let's slow the program down, folks, a bit. Those of you who view Lisa's show, her interviews, Lisa looked to you like an uncontrolled, angry black woman? Yeah? Lisa sounds like Jukba when Jukba says Diko way. Huh? Think about, and by the way, you just hit two individuals one time. Jukba, who is a retired announcer, who is an icon in broadcasting in the country. Both SLP and UWP get plucks from him back in the days. But I think Kenny got a little more than some. And Peep. I think he used to call this one Peep. That's Philip. Ray Charles, he would call him. Huh? And so he's trying to throw Lisa under the bus by throwing Jukeboy under the bus. And Jukeboy is at an age where he's sick, we need to just give the man a break. You know, the man have served his country as a broadcaster. He's an icon. And a lot of the elderlies, you know, would be glued to their, whether you're SLP or UWP, you would be glued to the air. You know, you hear that voice every morning. You know, you hear the music. You know it's Jukeboy. He sets an environment in the country. In the evening, everybody's by their radio, waiting for Jukeboy. Or they sit next to the road or in their car. And you hear the music, da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da, and you're excited. You want to know what is he going to say next. But Jukeboy loved his country, loves his country, and mean no harm to his country. Here we are now abusing Lisa, who means no harm for her country, who loves her country, and is part of what we call a free press, but is being abused and attacked by Philip J. Pear's administration. Folks, don't be afraid to call it what it is. Lisa is being attacked by the Philip J. Pear SLP administration. She's under fire from the SLP administration.
Lisa was coming up quite well in the journalism business. She was coming up quite well, but now she's just, that girl has just taken all her credibility, right, and chucked it in the garbage.
Where it belongs. But, Guy Joseph, where were you when Sir John told me Melissa, my apologies. I have an aversion to that name, so my apologies. Where were you when Sir John told Melissa, come and you will see what a toothless tiger can do? Where were you? What did you say about that?
Okay, so he's trying now to pull John Compton, who is deceased, of course, and have served his country too. He's trying to get support from the deceased, John Compton, and the sick, Jukeboy. So, here's what I got to say about this. I don't care who it is or who you are. There are certain lines that you do not cross as a man. I'm going to say that again. As a decent man in the society, there's a line that is drawn. This gentleman, this man, don't know how to cross that line. This man seems to have a problem with self-control. You know, you want to say something, but you control yourself. You say, si moi dis ça, ça pa kay bon so, na kay dis ça, na chibig chose mama dis ça. Certain things you keep in your head, of course. Because the more you speak, you are creating an image of yourself that will actually stick on you for life. And even in death, people will remember you for your abuse on women. It's hard to clean up these type of things, you know. And I hope that there are young boys listening to me out there. Young boys, this is not the way to go. It is not the way to go. It's not the right attitude. No, it is not. Money can't repair this. government position cannot repair this. Matter of fact, those two things will expose you a little more. It will help you to expose yourself. Power and money. So, he says, John Compton said, Melissa, come and I'll show you. That statement was wrong too. I don't care. Yes, you want to hit back in the political space, but there's a line that is drawn, should be drawn. One, as a man, you don't talk publicly about women's body size, their shape, their breasts, their butt. You don't address a woman by her figure as a decent man in the society. Yeah. But I know the problem, there are many of you who are listening to me. I don't care what side you're on. You have abused women all your life. You have kicked them, stabbed them, spit on them. You have given them AIDS and all kind of sexually transmitted disease because you sleep with them and you sleep with other men. You sleep with them and you sleep with other women. You have abused them so much. You impregnate them and you move on. You have violated these women. As a matter of fact, some of you have raped. So you don't know how to treat women. A lot of you St. Lucian men, and permit me to beat you guys down. There are others in the world, but I'm talking to you St. Lucian men. Because that's where this gentleman is. Some of you have been very, very destructive to the mental development of our sisters. And when they finally stands up and they react to you, then you become like a narcissist. You act like the victim, but you have been kicking them all the time. You have been treating them like trash. You men, some of you are good on doing that. So on the pattern I'm seeing here, I'm not surprised, folks. Especially when you drink some rum or you see your friends and you want to show off. You expose these women. Some of you talk about your girlfriends and you talk about your wives with other men in groups. What you do to them. That's how disgraceful some of you are. And matter of fact, some of you politicians have been sleeping around too often. You are no example for any young man. No, you're not. You're a disgrace. And sadly, some of these men have daughters and sisters and they still have mothers alive, but they don't understand as the world turns, what you sow is what you reap. So let's just slip back into the whole discussion. So he's on Lisa case and and you think the gentleman next to him from Denry would said, no man, I'm not going there with you. No, he's head on. Don't mind this. Don't mind these guys. All of them head on. Head on. So whether John Compton said it to Melissa, it's wrong. Come and I'll show you. Some of these old men back in the days, they sure call you. They laisse pas rien tes affaires, but bouche yo te sharp. Yeah? But those days are gone. You can't do it now. Back in the work days, you could have on the job try to advance yourself on women. And that's why a lot of women got raped. Because you guys, because of your power, you use that power over them. And instill fear and a dependence on you that these women just take the abuse. Some of you have kicked women. And if you have not repented before you lose your life, before you give up that life, that foot that you used to kick that woman, you will watch that foot every day and it will remind you of that nastiness. And that hands that you have used, the fists, to punch these women in their breasts, in their bodies, giving them all sorts of cancers. You got your reward for the pain and the suffering that you have caused. This is what we have right now in our society. Outdated men who have not upgraded themselves to the times that we're in, that you can no longer abuse women like you used to in the dark ages. Keep them in the back kitchen with black and blue eyes. They can't go out because their eyes black, so they're in the house cooking and washing and crying when you're not there. And just praying, God, one day, God will deliver me from this monster. You know the amount of women that prayed for God to deliver them from some of you monsters? And the truth is, God understands those prayers. And guess what? A lot of these monsters have run into trees, running over into banks, run into people's house. A lot of them got in trouble on the roads, coming from places that they should not be coming from. But because of the cry and the plead of these women, the cry of these women, the tear drops on the streets, drop in their homes, cries out in expression for deliverance from you nastiness in our society.
What did you all say? At least, Minister was young, Minister looked good. So Sir John said that. Probably I would have said the same thing. But if I make a statement, what did I say? You don't want me as your mentor if you want blah, blah, blah. Women. Marcella, awa. Marcella, awa. You know, but that is what y'all hags do. That is what y'all hags do. You know.
Reverend, this type of arrogance is recorded. This is arrogant. This is nastiness. And what he's doing there, he sits in the Prime Minister's office. This is Prime Minister Pear. This is the St. Lucia Labour Party. This is them. They told you that we're winning 17-0. They told you we have 17 candidates. He's one of them. That's them. That's him. That's the Labour Party. Right there. So he don't want Miss Johnson, Marcella, in Grocery, United Workers' Party candidate. Yak, she's not good. She's dirt. Yak. You know, like when somebody say, Mavlisa? This is in your government. It's not in the United Workers' Party. It's in your government. Christians, I am asking you to awake and trim your lamps. Those who still have the moral compass, those who still have spiritual eyes, wake up. This is a blight in our society. Wake up. We are damaging our young boys. Wake up. This is the moment to wake up, friends. Christians, I'm calling you out. Stand up now. So, he says, me, You know what, Marcella is so disgusting that she's not desirable. And this is one who says, people talking back, and this is a Labour Party thing now. You all don't like St. Lucia. You all want to bring down St. Lucia and the image, and we love and we're proud of St. Lucia, and you all want to make us look bad. No, you are what's making St. Lucia bad. This attitude is not tolerated in many other countries. You, sir, are what's bad for the image of the country. You. Not us. We speak about your actions and others. And while we are not perfect, friends, we're not perfect, by no means. But what you are doing there is far, 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 far from normal. Far, far, far from what we want for our children. And I want you to think about this. Would you want your daughter to marry a character like what is being displayed here? Think about it. Think about it that your son comes to you and he's talking to you about a girl down the road or your neighbor's daughter, and this is how he's speaking about her. Mommy, mwe, sa mal pop mavle sa mem. Gade mwe. What would you do as a mother? Think about, let's switch the script. Think about your daughter being spoken of by the neighbor's son in this manner. How would you feel? Soak that in. Make this personal to you. Think about the generation and what this government is doing to them. Yes, this government is doing a disservice to the psyche of our young boys and girls in the country. Think about it. Let's continue with what the gentleman is saying. And he is talking about, now he's finished with Lisa. Now he's looking at Marcella basically as being disgusting. Yuck.
Will do anything to attack Richard Frederick. At least when Sir John said that, like I said, Minister Rambali was not married. She was not married. She had never been married twice. She never stole anybody's husband. You know, so she was eligible. But Marcella don't have that kind of eligibility in my view.
Oh my God. St. Lucia. St. Lucia. St. Lucia. Spiritual leaders, where are you? Where are you, church? On Sunday, Mr. Priest, of whatever church that was, did you speak to him? Did you speak to him? Where is our church? So, let me just say to you, I've known Marcella while she was working at the bank at the mall. I think it's RBTT at Gable Woods Mall. That's why I met her. I worked a long time, not a long time there with her. And I saw her. I saw something different in her. I think she was pregnant with her first child. She was much younger, very nice, disciplined woman. And I remember her husband used to come by ever so often. I can remember him clearly. So I'm not speaking here because I don't know her. I know her. Marcella lost her husband. He died. Her first husband. I'm going to say this again. Her first husband passed away. And that's why she got married for the second time. And let me just say this. Some people get married once. Husband died, they get married again. So you would say they got married twice. Some just walk away from their wives because of abuse. The wives say enough is enough. They walk away. They can't take it anymore. Some of these women, they move on and they marry. They divorce the abuser and they get married again. And there are lots of the government ministers who understand what I'm saying. Because some of you, and I will expose, there's one that must be exposed. When you were being sworn in as a government minister, you begged your wife that you are not with to come with you just to show and to make it look good. Don't play that game. You left her. You even at the time denied that the child is yours. You left her. And you had her to accompany you knowing that you guys are not together just to put on a show. But you're the same minister who is found in vehicles parked on the trees with other girls. Yeah? Is that true? So that's what I'm saying, that we are morally bankrupt as a nation. Morally bankrupt. And this is not what we want in our country. No, sir. This is what we do not want in our country. This type of nastiness. Now let me just go to something quickly here, where I think it was Prime Minister Pear who was asked about a dog. Let me see if I can find that clip with Lisa grilling him on
The
that.
pandemic, something seems to be happening in the region. The press may handle it differently in other countries. The commentators may handle it differently. The opposition politicians may handle it differently. But every island, that is a fact. The third situation is that operational matters are always in the purview of the police. They are the ones who have the training. They are the ones who have the expertise. They are the ones who can deal with operational matters. We as laymen may believe that we have all the solutions, but as it relates to operational matters, the police, security matters, the police are the ones who are involved in that situation.
I don't know what the Prime Minister said there, honestly. We have a major crime problem. I don't know. These days, I do not understand what this man is saying. I honestly do not understand what he's saying. You have bloodshed in your streets, and you are talking about the region. Huh? Huh? Just bear with me, folks. Huh? Bloodshed in the country. But there's something else. Now, before we go on, let's do this. Before we go there, I I want to give you a surprise. All right? Just bear with me. Give me a minute. We'll get a surprise call tonight, all right? I told you strange things do happen on this show. So I'm going to let's take this call. Caribbean American News Media Platform caller, you're on the air.
Good evening, Garfield. How are you?
Hey, my friend. Good evening, folks. This is Marcella Johnson, the candidate for the United Workers' Party in Grosile. We just had a discussion on what Mr. Frederick, the insult and the nastiness that would lured at her. And so she's on the air with us tonight. Ms. Johnson, you're on the air.
Hi, Garfield. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak tonight. I really appreciate what you are doing. Getting the issues and facts out there to our listeners. What Richard Frederick did, and I wasn't the first woman that he did this to. We all remember women like Minerva, and the list goes on. To attack me on national television, and all because I said Richard Frederick is not my mentor. That is all. I was simply making a distinction that the outgoing MP for Grosile mentioned that this man is his mentor.
Yes.
So this man, so I'm saying that Richard Frederick is not my mentor. Right. Is there anything wrong in saying that? Is that an attack?
And he's not mine either.
Okay. Right. So subsequently on his show, this happened sometime in early April, he would have said that, he would have said all sorts of things, all other things, but the crux of it was, if I want to hunt my husband, he's available. Something to that effect.
Wait, he said that?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Yes, you can go back and play the clip. And he said even more other things. But this one is what I'm dealing with. And this is a man in the highest office of the land. This man has shown his daughters on his talk show. I think he has 5 daughters, who he's proud of. And I have a father. You will go and denigrate another man's daughter like that while you're praising your daughters? You have mothers, you have sisters, you have daughters.
Oh, boy.
I have a husband and I have children. Do you know where I was when this has been said? At home, and they could have been hearing the same thing. There are young persons watching that, young girls, young boys. What are you saying to them about the respect from men in society towards women and children? And what is even more baffling is the silence. Silence from his other colleagues in cabinet. First of all, you have the Prime Minister. Then you have 2 women in cabinet, and they have said nothing on this issue. By not saying anything, their behavior is also complicit.
Yeah. But this was unprovoked, right? This was unprovoked as far as I'm concerned.
Unprovoked.
Yeah.
Unprovoked.
Yeah.
Unprovoked.
Jesus.
And I, as a politician, have brought myself into politics for reasons such as this, to speak for the voiceless. I want to have a future in St. Lucia where our children would want to live safe in this country, would not want to have to leave to go and find employment elsewhere. So we need to bring back dignity to our country, and it has to start with the leaders of this country. They need to be accountable.
I'm so sorry, honestly. I'm so sorry that that you've been insulted like this, but this is the spirit, the political tone that the Labour Party have set in the country. And as you said, the Prime Minister, the SLP, none of them, they're not coming out to say, no, this is not us. This is not us. We are bigger than this. And, ask this gentleman to resign or to apologize. There is nothing from the Prime Minister. And I believe this is one of the reasons why the people of St. Lucia need to vote for decency. They need to clean up their government and clean it up now. We will lose our society.
And this is disgraceful from them. Very disgraceful.
It is.
And it's no wonder that you find that not many women enter politics. It's for disgusting behavior such as this.
Yeah.
And even women who dare to lead will not enter politics because of that. But we need women in politics. We need to nurture our women, because when women have a seat at the table, the policies that we set for our country would be different, because we see things differently.
But Ms. Johnson, you live in a society, especially small island like St. Lucia, where some of these men are afraid of powerful, strong women like you are. They're afraid, they're intimidated, they can't handle a strong woman. These guys prefer women that they can box and they can insult and abuse. The abuse that you are getting verbally from these men, it is something I suspect that is part of them. They're accustomed, that's their life, that's what they do throughout their life. And so it's nothing new. So these guys are abusers, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I was very surprised. I was very surprised today when someone asked me the question, and it apparently obtains. Ask them the question, how many of them in the cabinet right now have any issues with child support and also allegations of abuse against women against them?
Well, I have a list here, of course, but I'm not going to put it out public because I don't believe in just exposing people. But these are our leaders.
And these are the men who are leading the country. So we need to vote back decency into this country.
We got to, Ms. Johnson. We got to.
And we need to also speak to the importance of religion in our society. Mm-hmm. Religion has its place. Religion is key in terms of all this sort of behavior that is breaking down the moral fabric of our society.
Well, the church have gone quiet for some reason. The church is not speaking enough on these matters. You would hear press release from the churches concerning government ministers who step out of line, but these guys are just free to roam at this time.
But it's not only the churches or the parents, because I go to church, and when I go to church, the seats are empty, and when parents come to church, most times the children are not there. They leave the kids at home.
Oh, my God.
So it starts with the home.
Wow. Spiritual decadence.
So we need persons to understand the importance of spirituality, the importance of the family.
Yeah.
And I think this is breaking down in our society. And that will alleviate some of these potential problems that we are seeing right now.
I've never seen, honestly, the truth is, I'm not accustomed to this type of stuff from any government.
No, we didn't grow up in that era.
No, we were taught.
What I could say to any cabinet member right now who tries to attack a woman, don't let it happen on my watch, because I will not sit by silently and let it happen. I will not be victimized. I will not be intimidated. I am going to stand and fight like a woman.
Yeah, and you have the strong men of the United Workers' Party to stand with you,
Oh, they were amazing today.
Yes,
and not only the men of the United Workers' Party, but we had support from other men as well, other women.
Yeah, Laura.
Other mothers, grandmothers. Yeah. It was phenomenal. And we are not going to stop. This is a movement we have started to stop that kind of repugnant behavior from this outgoing MP for Central Castries.
And you have a very good political leader in Mr. Alan Chastney.
Very good political leader, very visionary. Yeah. He cares about people. He cares about women. And don't believe all the lies they are spewing out there about him. They are attacking this man, creating all sorts of lies and memes on Facebook.
Because
all because they want to protect the victory.
His character is an open rebuke to their behavior. That's all.
Pardon me?
His character, his who the man is, it's a rebuke to these fellas' character, the way they're acting. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a total light. I mean, anytime there is light, darkness got to flee. And so these guys are so morally bankrupt, as far as I'm concerned, and spiritually bankrupt that, you know, they try to stain Mr. Chasney, label him as the worst thing on the earth. And we know who the worst things are, those abusers of women, the violators of our sisters in the society.
The abusers of women, yes.
Yeah.
And this thing about Mr. Chasney and the racism they are spewing in our society. I grew up in this country. We did not have this sort of racism and hatred in our country.
I didn't know that.
But they are bringing division into society. Division that was not there based on the color of someone's skin. We have to stand against that as well. And you know, he attacked me on that as well.
Yeah?
Right? He also attacked me on that, but I will have to find the clipping to play it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I will find the clipping to play it for the viewers. But to call me an honorary white?
Oh my God, this man did that?
He did that?
Oh.
But I have to find the clipping to play it, okay?
Yeah. Wow.
So I will deal with it at another time.
So this guy is a racist bigot.
He is. He is. When you look at me, a black woman, born and raised in this country, you look at my father, the color of his skin.
Yeah, but I know your father. I met him before.
Yes. You cut my skin, you cut Alan Chasney's skin, you cut anybody else. You know what you're going to see? Red blood.
Red blood, yes. We are one people.
We are the same. Same blood.
Same blood.
Right? And to try to put that kind of division based on hatred and racism in our society, to try to lure people into thinking that way, it's very disgusting. And we also must stand against this in our society.
Yeah, it's not good for politics, you know. I mean,
we must say no to that kind of behavior.
We gotta stand up.
And that is why we need to vote out the SLP.
Yeah.
Vote out hatred. Vote out hatred from our society.
Before you go on a lighter moment, I see you're working very hard in Grosley. I know there's a whole set of issues up there in that community. I know you have the passion, the commitment, the drive to deal with some of these challenges. How is your rep? Your outgoing rep in Grosley? How is he doing?
The outgoing rep in Grosley, I would say, has failed on a lot of counts. Okay? Most of the projects that you see him lying down on the roads and other projects finishing up the stadium, these were projects that had already started under the UWP administration by Spider. Okay? There's nothing new that he has brought to the table in Grosley. As for the Ministry of Youth and Sports, and that $80 million loan that he took for the NLA, there's a lot to be said about that. But the point I'm trying to make is the fact that that loan was taken on the backs of the youth of this country. When you take this loan, he has placed this burden on the National Lotteries Authority to have to pay back a loan over 15 years. And this repayment, after it eats into all the revenue streams of the National Lotteries Authority, there's nothing left over to invest in the youth for 15 years.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? If you're the Minister of Youth and you care about youth, you would not do that to the youth of this country. And this $80 million, which he claimed he invested in a stadium, which initially cost $40 million, right, just for renovations.
80 million. Hold a minute. 80 million for renovation?
Let me tell you, haven't you been looking at the news? 80 million was taken for renovations. For a stadium which had cost initially 40 million. Now he can say he fixed up fields or whatever. Whatever was done, it still wouldn't come up to 80 million.
You talk about 80 million for all the playing fields in the country, repairs.
Oh no! This is the outgoing MP for Grozile. He wouldn't be doing playing fields for all the country.
Well, as Minister of Sports, I would think, okay, well, I'm going to look into this.
He has failed, and if you notice, anything to do with sports is only on the semi-pro. But what about all the other the sports? He's been neglecting their other sports.
Yeah, because I'm not sure.
Why aren't you developing that? Then you have the sports academy. He has turned his back on the sports academy.
But this
is another avenue for our youth to generate income through sport. And we see what happens with FIFA and the kind of income that they can generate if they're good at it. Why not nurture it for those who have the ability in sports to go to a school so they could focus on perfecting their game so that we could have the next Olympian? But no, they have abandoned the sports academy because it was a project which was started by the UWP administration.
And it was a damn good project, I can tell you. Those
exactly.
Those are the
first of its kind in St. Lucia.
Yeah. Because sports is a good discipline that helps our kids, refocus the energy. It helps with the crime in the country.
But what I can tell you on the ground, people are fed up. They want change. Enough is enough. Persons are suffering. The cost of living is skyrocketing. They can't feed their families. They can't send their children to school. The bus fares are high. It is mad. Healthcare, it is also not in a good way for St. Lucians. So we need to vote for change. We need to vote for the United Workers' Party, a government who can bring back dignity and respect to us as women and men in this country, because what we were fighting for today is not only a women's issue, it's a man's issue as well, because these are our husbands, our brothers, our uncles, our fathers. So men, and like they did today, men are standing with us as well.
Yep, and I stand with you all too from here, because this kind of nastiness, we got to speak up, we got to come together. And I'm not sure, I'm sure we have decent SLP men and women. Why are they not speaking up? Why are they so quiet with all this nonsense that is happening? Are they afraid of something? What is going on? But what can I say,
I don't know. But
what can I say? Keep the faith.
A United Workers' Party government will bring back dignity and respect to our society.
And that's what we know for a fact. We got to bring back some normalcy to government. People must not be afraid of the government, and the government must not be attacking them. Democracy is broken as far as I'm concerned when that starts to happen.
Broken. There's no democracy right now.
Yeah.
Haven't you seen some of the nonsense that goes on in Parliament, the disrespect faced by our leader, the Honorable Alan Shastny?
Yeah, I'm trying to do another show this week because what I saw in the House was an embarrassment. Instead of focusing on the crime in the country, strategizing, talking to each other, they're busy giving Mr. Shastny we all got them nastiness, man. Nastiness. It's a shame.
And that is wrong.
It is
and
wrong.
I can tell you, Garfield, I'm a mother of two boys, right? They're 27 and 20. When they go out at night especially, I'm worried, because of all the crime that's happening, worried that something might happen to them. So until they get home, I can't sleep properly,
Wow.
It is painful. Even going out to dinner, sometimes you figure, man, should I really go? Because you really don't want to stay out for fear that something is going to happen to you.
You don't know.
Because the crime occurs in the night. Jesus. And that impacts the economy as well, because if persons are not going out and patronizing the various businesses, then businesses will not do well and the economy will not strive.
Yeah.
Will not thrive.
True. Well, I'm sorry about this. And this government is not making it better for the people.
Not at all. And they do not care about the people, because on this weekend we were supposed to have this public meeting in the boulevard. We decided to postpone the meeting because it was unsafe. We were concerned for the citizens of the country. We put the people before politics. Yet, the SLP chose to continue a meeting, partying and having a good time, while mothers are bawling because their children have been killed. But just a few hours before, the day before, mothers are crying. Children have lost their fathers. Do you know what it is when a child has lost a father? The father is not coming back home. And sometimes the father is a breadwinner. That mother has to fend for herself now. In all the grief, life goes on.
Yep.
And you have to do what you have to do so that you can survive and then you can take care of your children. And you telling me a government will continue business as usual, and there's so much pain and suffering in the country?
Yeah, jumping and dancing. The following day they were in Dennery North, dancing and having a good time. Business as usual.
We must vote out. We must vote out this kind of indecency. And this election, I'm calling on all St. Lucians, whether you are in the diaspora everywhere, turn out in large numbers so that we could show them that we will not stand for disrespect. We will not stand for abuse. We will not stand for violence. So come out in numbers to vote out the SLP. And I'm also calling on the diaspora to stand with us in solidarity, whether you have your protests as well overseas, to show this outgoing MP for Castries Central that this is a momentum we are building, this is a movement, and we will not stand for disrespect of women in our society. So we need the diaspora to also stand in solidarity with us.
And I believe next week we will have a program up there in the diaspora to stand with you guys. Sometime next week, we will have a live town hall meeting to deal with this nastiness in our government. So we are standing with you and with all the women who are being abused at this time by the government of St. Lucia, the SLP government, because the government said that the SLP said that they're within 17 naught, which means that Richard is part of them and King is part of them. So
exactly, he's there in the cabinet.
Yes, that's SLP right there for you. That's their guy. They can't divorce themselves from him.
Not at all.
No.
Not at all. And he is the prime minister in the prime minister's office. The prime of ministers.
Can you imagine that?
Can you imagine that?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But, well, that's what the prime minister's office has become. So we have a lot of cleaning up to do when we take over the government.
And you know what I want to say to him, the outgoing MP for Castries Central? When you go low, I go high.
Yep.
You mess with one woman, you mess with all.
Yes.
I'll repeat it for him again.
Yeah.
When you go low, outgoing MP for Castries Central, Marcella Johnson goes high.
You heard that, sir? That one is for you, buddy. Yep. Well, buddy, got your message, my dear. But thank you so much for coming forward to lead, coming forward at this time, such a time as this, where everything is just out of control. I wish you all the best in Grosley, and I encourage the people of Grosley to do what is right and help us to bring some decency back to the nation. Thank you so much, Marcella Johnson.
It's such a coincidence that you mentioned that line, Garfield.
Yeah?
Such a time like this.
Why? Oh, eh?
Yes, because it brought me back to a book in the Bible, the book of Esther.
Esther, yes. Yes.
And Esther was made for such a time as this.
And you, my
so
friend.
I, Marcella Johnson, was made for such a time like this.
You were made for this
I
moment.
will fight for the women.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
And you will get stronger, you will get better at this, and it is your time. God is going to lead you, guide you, and he's going to protect you. Have no fear. Those bullies are just who they are. God will take down in his time. So thank you so much for being part of our experience.
Thank you so much. Continue to pray for us, please.
We will do. And don't be a stranger to the program.
No, I won't.
All right, take care.
But usually I get home very late at night. So by the time I get home and so on, it's so late because I'm on the ground working hard.
The ground is better. You keep working there, all right? We can always wait over here on the show.
Okay, thank you.
All right, blessings.
Okay, thank you so much.
No
Good
problem,
night.
anytime. Right, so that was our candidate for Grozile, United Workers' Party, Marcella Johnson. I don't know. I hope I didn't block her there. My hands touched something. I would have to go through to see what is happening there. All right. So we have one more. You have another call concerning that incident today. Let me see if I can pull it in to our system. Just stick with me, folks. Let me see if I can pull it in to our system here. I really want to speak to this individual. Bear with me, folks. Bear with me. Let me see. I'm trying to pull it in. You know what? I'm gonna get it in. Let me just play something here that I really wanted to share with you concerning. I believe concerning the dogs, that the Prime Minister said he don't know anything about. He don't know much about.
Statements, and I will respond.
This is
to
from
any questions that you may have.
A clip from the.
And I will also
press briefing.
Respond to the suggestions in a letter which the leader of the opposition sent to me, which I responded in which I said I had received. Contrary to what he said, it wasn't thrashed. But
now this is the same letter that the Prime Minister said he threw in the garbage. Huh? Now he's saying it wasn't in the garbage. So I'm a little confused, sir.
So you should know that, contrary to what you may think, the government has taken prompt action. And I reiterate that the operations matters of the police force are in the hands of the Commissioner of Police. I reiterate that when it comes to operations, the Commissioner of Police is the one that you have to relate to. And you may have forgotten that the Commissioner of Police went to the press and he disclosed a crime strategy. So I think it's very short-term memory to see that the Commissioner of Police, he addressed the press and he disclosed a crime strategy. I don't know whether you recall that. So to imply that there is no strategy of crime reduction is not altogether. It may not have the results that we think that we wanted. But the Commissioner of Police, to his credit, he did go to the public and he disclosed a crime reduction. Not only crime reduction, a crime strategy, a strategy to deal with crime. He did that. So it's unfair to the police to say that they have not disclosed any strategy for crime reduction. I want to reiterate.
Folks, the reason why people are saying what they're saying is because this government is a secretive government, period.
So I want to just read a short statement and I will take your questions. On Saturday, August 16th, 3 St. Lucians lost their lives to gun violence and some others were injured. This senseless violence must come to an end. We will not allow the safety of our streets and communities to be compromised by those who have clearly lost respect for human life. We can, and every effort will be made to break the cycle of violence, particularly violence among gangs seeking reprisals. Following the events of the weekend, immediately on Saturday, I convened an emergency meeting with the High Command of the Royal Police Force, who are responsible for operational matters, to help their plans to restore safety to our streets and communities, and for the arrest of those responsible for Saturday's killings and injuring of innocent citizens. I am satisfied that the police are adequately equipped to handle the challenges which are playing out on our streets among gangs. In response to Saturday's events, the police have informed me that there will be an increase in police presence and round-the-clock surveillance in the crime hotspot areas. The police have also informed me that other measures will be employed to frustrate the movement of criminals across the country. In light of these measures, the public will be asked to be patient with the police because some level of inconvenience will become necessary to restore safety on our streets and communities. I want to remind citizens that the fight against crime is a collective.
Hi, good evening. Caribbean American News Media Platform. Oliver here. Is this Angie?
Yes, it is.
Yes, Garfield Oliver here. I just wanted to have a conversation with you. I'm not sure if you're willing concerning the incident today. We are live on the air.
Yes, of course. Because I was such a.
So I know it was a long day.
Incident.
Right. I know it was a long day for you, but most of us missed the part where it is alleged that Mr. Healy, and folks, we are speaking with the young lady, the reporter, who was allegedly pushed out of the building today by the Honorable, by Mr. Healy, government minister in the SLP administration. So you want to walk us through what really happened?
Let me just correct you. He didn't actually push me out of the building. He was not able to, but he attempted.
He attempted.
So here's what happened.
Talk to me.
Here's what happened. I was outside as part of the silent protest against Richard Frederick's incessant abuse of women. I felt it was egregious that the minister decided to go on his platform and just verbally attack a reporter simply for doing her job. So as a reporter myself and as a woman, it occurred to me that I had to do something, because who was he going to come for next? The next person might be me. I'm pretty sure by now on Thursday, I will be the star of the show.
Yeah.
So I did not want to intimidate anyone. I didn't want to, because I was wearing a fuchsia suit with a message: you attack one of us, you attack us all.
That's right.
I went downstairs to Parliament, which is an area designated for media personnel to interview the politicians. And Minister Emma Hippolyte was being interviewed at the time. I didn't interrupt the interview. I stood to one side. I allowed the interview to finish, and then I went to her and I asked her. I asked, "Can I have a word with you?" And she said yes. And then I told her. She asked me, "What's the shirt about?" And I told her, excuse me, I got wet in the rain. So I told her what the shirt was and what it signified, and she said she hadn't heard the remarks herself. And I said to her, "That's understandable. I mean, you're in the middle of the campaign." And I told her, I spoke to her and I asked her if she would be willing to make a statement. Not so she wasn't too into it, but then I spoke with her, and I have a pretty cordial relationship with these ministers, you know.
That's good.
So she agreed to make a statement, and she asked, where is your camera person? So I said, well, he's outside. But let me just get him. And she said, yeah, go ahead and get him. I'm going in there and you can call him, which is standard.
Just bear with us, folks. We have a connectivity issue. Just bear with us. She'll be back. You're watching Caribbean American News Media Platform. We are live on the air. Hey, go ahead, you're back.
Hello,
Yes,
can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you now. The internet will be in and out. I understand that, but we will bear patience with you.
Okay, so the doorway was blocked by the Prime Minister. He was being interviewed by several media houses. So I really could not leave. It would have been highly inappropriate of me to interrupt the Prime Minister's interview because I wanted to pass through.
Right.
So I was waiting for the interview to end. And Dr. Hilaire, I honestly didn't see where he came from, but he was walking when I looked up, he was walking towards me. And I put on a nice smile and I said, hi, Dr. Hilaire, how you doing? Which is how I normally address him. And he came up to me and he pointed at me and said, you're with the protesters? And I said, yes. And he said, are you in the parliament? And he placed his hand on the small of my back and shoved me and said, get out. And I was like,
so he placed his hands on you?
Yes, on the small of my back. And he shoved me and said, get out. And I said, Dr. Hilaire, why would you do this? I was in such shock. I mean, you have no idea how, because when he came and stood next to me, I thought he was probably maybe going to ask me about the shoot, you know, something like that. He literally put his hand on my back and shoved me, saying, get out. And I'm standing there in total shock, just so bewildered. And I turned around and said, Dr. Hilaire, why would you do this? Why would you do this?
And he said,
you're protesting in the parliament. And I said, no, I'm not. I said, no, I'm not. I said, I was speaking with Minister Hippolyte and I was waiting for the Prime Minister's interview to end because it would be highly inappropriate of me to interrupt the Prime Minister's interview simply to pass through. So I was just waiting and he said, you're wearing a protest shirt. I said, yes, I am. But I'm not saying anything and I am not upstairs, which is where they meet. I'm downstairs in the lobby. And I mean, he was very upset and very aggressive. And I was just in shock.
Because, you know, that's not his place to put you out or to escort you out of the house. They are law enforcement to do that.
I said to him, I am a citizen just like you. I am a citizen. Why would you do this? And I had never seen Dr. Hilaire react in such an angry way. I was not expecting this in any way. I didn't approach him and ask for a comment. I didn't engage him in any way except to greet him when I realized he was coming my way.
And I see you in action today. You're a very respectful person as far as I'm concerned. You have a lot of manners. I see how you operate. You say, sir, thank you, I apologize, no problem. You're a very nice person based on what I saw today. You're very controlled.
And that's how I normally deal. That's how I normally speak to every single one of them. Even when Minister Hippolyte, if you recall, there was this clip that went viral when a reporter was asking Minister Hippolyte about the consumer laws, and she said, "You see where you're going with that? Kill it, kill it."
Yes. Yeah.
She was speaking to me, and I still did not react in any untoward way.
Oh, you're the one she told kill it?
You understand? Yes, I am.
Interesting.
And if you listen to that clip, I was never disrespectful to the minister because I literally played the clip as it happened. There, you can hear her questions, you can hear her response. I honestly, I still cannot wrap my head around what happened. I still cannot believe that the minister literally put his hand on me and shoved me and said, "Get out," as if he didn't know who I was, as if he had never dealt with me. I mean, it's the House of Parliament. You're saying to me, and then I remembered him saying to the leader of the opposition, if you don't speak when we ask you to speak, then you lose your right to speak.
So he's an arrogant guy then.
Yeah, but I mean, this is the second time. You know what the irony of this is? I was there to protest verbal abuse of a minister on a female media worker. I was there to stand in solidarity, and I was trying, and my aim was not to engage with any of the male ministers, but to see if I can get the two female members of parliament to stand with us in solidarity and to denounce that type of behavior.
So you expected them to at least make a statement in denouncing the behavior, or saying, look, we don't support abuse of women and stuff like that, but they did not do that.
Well, I spoke to them both, and they both agreed to make a statement. But after, when I came with the camera, I don't know if maybe because of what happened, I couldn't get them.
But you know, in a more
professional
professional environment, without seeing the tape, what they could have said is, look, we don't support violence of any type or abuse of women of any type, but we will look at the information and we'll put out a statement. That would have been the ideal thing to do, I believe, at the time.
Well, Minister Hippolyte asked me, "Where's your camera person?" Because I normally approach them and ask their permission first, and ask them if they would be inclined to make a statement. And then when they agree, I call my camera people. But because of the situation, I was not able to get to my camera person at the time. And imagine, after Dr. Hiller shoved me, when I was finally able to leave the building, Minister Poyot was standing outside. And I went up to her because I was in total shock. I went up to her and she said, "What's on your shirt?" And she read it. And she said, "What's this about?" And I told her. And she said to me, "You know, I really didn't listen to the show. I didn't hear the thing." And we had a conversation about the gender affairs law. And I asked her what protections women were afforded under the law, because she said to me, we are now preparing to put the regulations in place to support the law. And I was asking her about verbal abuse, about cyberbullying and all of that, if women were afforded these protections under the law. And she said yes. And she told me, "You know what, go to the Gender Affairs office." She told me where it was, and she said, "You can get more information." So I said, "Would you mind making a statement?" She said yes. And then I told her, and then I said to her, "Could you believe Dr. Hiller did this?" And I told her what happened. And she shook her head in absolute amazement. You know, but she did agree to make a statement. But by the time I came back, because the camera person was actually interviewing Alan Shastney at the time. So I had to wait for that interview to finish to you know. But by the time I got back, it was probably time for them to go up. So I didn't get the opportunity to speak with either one of these ladies, but they were they agreed. Both of them agreed to make a statement on the matter.
Wow. So we look forward to that statement.
Yes.
Let me ask you, I saw you interacting with the Speaker of the House, Mr. Claudius Francis. What did he say to you?
Yes. Well, I went up to him, I greeted him, and I asked him if he was willing to make a statement. And he asked me about what? At first he said, I don't speak to protesters. And I said, I'm not asking you as a protester. I'm asking you as a member of the media.
Well, he said he don't speak to protesters.
Yes, he said that. And I said, would you mind hearing me out? And he's like, no, you're protesting. And I said, but right now I'm not protesting. And I was trying to get him to understand why we were there. And while we were having that conversation, Minister Frederick comes down the stairs, reads my shirt out loud, and starts saying that women were attacking him. Also, women can attack me and say whatever they want about me. And when I respond, it's an attack. You know, I'm actually playing the victim and pretending as if people that he was in the right, basically. He was saying that the way he was speaking, one would think that he was simply defending himself. But when he was speaking about the persons who attacked him, he mentioned Minerva Ward, he mentioned Guy Joseph, he mentioned the Sunday Lives. Not once did he mention Lisa Joseph.
Wow.
So obviously Lisa Joseph never attacked you.
Right.
Then when I tried to engage him to get his side of the story, he started saying, I don't want to speak to you. And then he came and he started explaining to Mr. Francis what he had said. And I said to him, I am not attacking you. This is not what it is. It's not an attack. I'm simply trying to get your side of the story. And he said, I don't want to speak to you. I told you I don't want to speak to you. And then he said to Mr. Francis, this is what I said. And he repeated his statement. And I said to him, but Minister, it's unfair for you to put somebody's medical business out in the open. And he said, he said that's not what he did. I said, but you just admitted to it, and you said you just put it out that she had cancer, and he denied it, and he said, I said she was taking chemotherapy, but as far as I know, and I'm not a medical professional of any kind, I don't claim to be, but as far as I know, chemotherapy is used to treat cancer.
Cancer, yeah.
As far as I know. Yeah. So if you see someone, and it is specifically used for that purpose, I don't know if there's been a new invention in the past couple of years, and now chemotherapy is probably used to treat maybe, I don't know, alopecia or some other kind of disease. But as far as I know, chemotherapy is a treatment specific to cancer.
Yes, it's widely used
him, but you've now put it out. Yes. I said, you've now put it out that she has cancer. And he says, I did that. So is that the only reason why you use chemotherapy?
Wow.
And I'm like...
But why would you even go there in the first place?
Exactly. And I said to him, Mr. Frederick, do you remember how you felt when someone went on a live and spoke about your medical issues? And he was like, I'm I know you would say that, like, and still trying to defend his blatant attack on a media professional who was simply doing her job. Now I ask of you, if we as media professionals, not just women in the media, all media professionals, allow this attack on one of our colleagues who was not doing anything onto it, because if you listen to the questions that Lisa was asking, it almost, to me, it sounded as if Lisa was asking if the minister had been exonerated. Right? So if she is trying to find out if you have been exonerated, asking the Prime Minister to finally address all of those allegations that were made against you, in my mind, she's not attacking you.
No.
She's validating you.
Yeah. Yep.
Why would you attack her for that?
Mm-hmm.
And so that is counterproductive in my mind. Secondly, you yourself had a situation where someone went on a live and spoke about your medical issues. And you were so angry that you attacked this person. There was not anything that you held back in that verbal attack. So if you felt so strongly when it was done to you, why would you turn around and perpetrate the same thing on another human being, man, woman, or child? Because you understand where I'm coming from.
Yes,
if
I
Mr.
got
Frederick
you.
is allowed to attack,
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, if he is allowed to attack media personnel for simply doing their jobs, when is it going to stop? Where is it going to stop?
And I don't see the reason, honestly, I don't see the reason for you being pushed out because you have a T-shirt. And I believe more of your colleagues in the field should have joined with you in saying, no, we will not have this. You cannot attack Lisa. She's a journalist. She has the right to ask those questions, to challenge government. She has a right. She has a right. And the minister is out of order to be attacking the free press in such a manner. Speaking of her medical issues, trying to mapirize her, if that's a word, trying to, throw sand in her eyes, saying to her that Shastny is the one paying her. These is childish. I mean, little kids don't even do these things anymore. And here is a grown minister acting like a little spoiled child. This is ridiculous.
I always say once is a habit, once is a mistake, but twice is a habit.
No, but it's something that he's been doing over the years.
I'm not even speaking about Mr. Frederick. Mr. Frederick has a habit of verbally abusing women. But for Dr. Hilaire to join in the fray and take it one step further and literally put his hand on me.
Yeah, that one is...
I was not engaging him at all.
Wow.
I was not asking him for a statement. He walked up to me. He literally walked up to me and pushed me and was literally telling me, get out, go outside. You cannot be in here.
So you're saying you felt his hands on you. You felt that force on you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he did.
So let me ask you, so what are you going to do about it? Are you going to do anything about it? Are you just going to roll over and let it slide? Are you going to file complaints or reports?
Well, I often say that emotions don't have brains. And I did not want to do something rashly when I was feeling so emotional at the time. So what I did was, number one, I called Newspin and I put it out in the open because I knew that at the time, all the media personnel that were in the vicinity, they were both engaged. They were engaged with 2 interviews, so they might not have seen what happened. So I called Newspin and I put it out there in the open. And the first thing I did was I mentioned it to Minister Poyot. When my camera person came, I said what happened. If you're looking at the live, you will see where I described what happened. and I called Houston later in the day, and then I contacted a lawyer and said to the lawyer, "This is what happened. I don't want to make I do not want to make any moves without legal advice.
Yep.
So please tell me what to do."
Yep.
Yeah. So the lawyer gave me some advice, told me what to do, and said, "We're going to speak about it tomorrow."
Yep. And I believe you should deal with it privately.
Yes. And another lawyer reached out to me. So I was just too shaken up today to deal with it. I was in a very emotional state. I could not believe what had happened.
Yeah.
I mean, you put your hands. So not only does this government, and I cannot say for sure that the Prime Minister saw Dr. Hilaire perpetrate that kind of vicious attack on me, but because he was engaged answering questions and stuff. But I really want to, I don't know if I should, but based on the legal advice given to me by the attorney, I really want to hear what the Prime Minister has to say on this. I really want to know if the Prime Minister will turn a blind eye to not just verbal abuse of women, but also physical abuse.
And there you are protesting about
ministers.
There you are protesting about verbal abuse. Then a minister is putting his hands on you. He's not your husband. He's not your boyfriend. He's not your father. But his hands is on you, literally.
Assaulting me.
Yeah. So
literally assaulting me.
But my advice is don't say much. Talk to your lawyer, as you said, tomorrow. And people are going to call you to get information. I would say to you, follow the advice of the lawyers and keep it down a bit. We can always talk about the verbal abuse of women in the society. We need to keep talking about it because these men need to understand that they have no right to abuse any woman or even put their hands, verbal or physical. It is wrong. And they have been doing it for so long that it seems that it's just part of these guys, just part of them. So I stand with you. I stand with Lisa. I stand with all women at this time who are in this fight.
Thank you so much.
You have a platform. You can always ask to be on it. You want the space for yourself to discuss these issues. I will free it up for you. All right?
Well,
but thank you for taking my call.
Well, I am. Yeah, of course. I am. I actually have a show on Fire 107.7 FM.
Oh, good.
Between 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock. And I did address this issue. I spoke about it's just the anger in his voice. The anger in his voice when he approached me.
Wow.
The anger on his face when he approached me.
Wow.
I mean,
the guys are angry. Something is really.
It was shocking.
Yeah, something is really getting to them.
It was really shocking.
Yeah. I wonder if it's Tommy effect he's having. Maybe Tom Thomas is affecting him over there.
I don't.
Well, you don't say nothing.
I don't know.
Yeah, it could be Tom Toms.
Yeah, but I don't. I don't understand why he was so angry, though.
Yeah, I think it's Tom Toms.
And
Tom Toms. The heat is on.
Shirt. What? So it's Tommy's anger that I am paying for.
Poor lady, you were in the wrong place at the wrong time.
At the wrong time, yes. I was just simply standing there with a man. It almost felt as if Dr. Hilaire felt that I had betrayed him in some way, and I don't understand that. Because the anger, you should have seen his face. You should have heard it in his voice. He was so angry at me.
But he was angry today, too, in the house because, and by the way, I think that is something normal with those guys in the house. Very angry, both him, the Prime Minister, and Buddy, towards Alan Chastney, the opposition. So I think some pressure is on somewhere, and pressure normally bursts pipe. But what I would advise you, don't let no pipe burst on you. You're not part of it. Don't let no pipe burst on you. These guys need to know their place. And Tom Toms will take care of Hilaire. I don't have a problem with that. Tom Toms will settle him in the next elections. He would be the one standing outside the house and, trying to figure out what is happening on the inside. Don't worry about him. Don't worry about him.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. I know it's
thank
late.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. I'll make contact with you, God's willing, tomorrow. privately.
Yes, and I appreciate the support.
We got your back.
The outpouring of support from persons on my show. My phone rang so much. Friends called me, even friends that are still supporters of the SLP. And one particular friend said to me, "I'm not going to say anything to you because I don't want to jeopardize our long-standing friendship."
Yeah.
And I refuse to let politics come between us. And I felt great, knowing that at least, But wow, I wish I could. If I just wanted to know why the anger.
I'm telling you, Tom-Toms, don't worry. I told you.
I was shaken up so badly.
But you might need to get some professional help in the process for the trauma that the government of St. Lucia have caused you through their minister. I would recommend it at some point, all right? But you be strong and know that you have a whole cloud of witnesses that are standing with you in this matter, all right? So we'll touch base again, Angie. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So, folks, that was our friend Angie there, the young reporter who got herself almost manhandled based on what she's saying, one of the government ministers. So it seems to be an open attack. It's open season on the press and on women in the country. And I'm telling you, once the free press is in jeopardy, then our democracy is on shaky ground. We saw Timothy Polio also of Newspin under fire too from this administration. So folks, keep your guard on, and very soon something is going to happen. The people of St. Lucia will have to make a choice whether they want normalcy or they want this type of behavior. But I have no doubt that the Tom-Toms effect is causing some unrest in the SLP. Something is happening there. They're too angry right now. This is not normal. So folks, we're going to end the show now. We'll see how we can give you a bonus show sometime again. We're hoping we'll see how we can fit this in. All right. But blessings to you. Have a beautiful rest of your evening. Thank you so much for being part of this platform. Remember, folks, that you have a choice to make. That choice will be very soon. Whether you want normalcy, you want decency, you want to just be yourself once again in your country. Blessings, folks, and good night. So long. Bye-bye. Domi Bie. Remember, we got to learn to forgive. We got to learn to come together as a people to deal with the many challenges that are before you. Bonsoir. Tout le monde. Sergeant Tom-Toms is out.
Come to an end. Hey, Papapio. Hey, Papapio. When you check out the kids in this year society. Oh yeah. They seem to have no purpose nor direction. When you check out the kids in this year's society, oh yeah, they seem to have no purpose nor direction.